Hey historians! Imagine you are at an amusement park. There are thrilling rides, awesome attractions, and excited people ready to enjoy their day. But what if I told you that you aren't free to do what you want in this park? It is controlled by a group of powerful managers who decide everything. They choose who rides the exciting roller coasters and who gets stuck on a boring merry-go-round. They control who wins at game booths and who leaves with empty wallets. They even decide who gets the delicious cotton candy and who gets the stale popcorn. The managers, however, seem friendly and offer you a deal. They say you can skip the lines, win the games, and get the best snacks, as long as you pay a little extra money and cheer for them in the carnival parade. In this metaphor, our amusement park managers represent the most influential groups of the 19th century: political machines. A political machine is an organization that uses its resources, especially money and the promise of political jobs, to control electoral votes and maintain power. In today's lesson, we'll explore the concept of political machines and look at how money has influenced politics and power throughout history. Our lesson essential question is, how did political machines affect American politics? Our guiding questions are, what were political machines and what purpose did they serve? What were the positive and negative impacts of political machines? And what impact did the media have on exposing the corruption of political machines? So let's step back in time to the city streets of the Gilded Age. People are hustling and bustling, cities are growing, and politics? Well, politics are a bit like a well-oiled machine. The Gilded Age was the period between 1870 and 1900, when America experienced rapid economic growth due to industrialization. Large corporations and businessmen grew fabulously wealthy, while some people living in urban areas like New York City faced poverty and hardship. Cities were overcrowded and unsanitary. Working conditions were appalling. People struggled to find jobs, and housing and public services were severely lacking, especially for the growing immigrant population. People were desperate for government assistance to fix the problems resulting from rapid urbanization. Well, just like our amusement park managers, political machines seem to have all of the solutions. But behind the scenes, they weren't exactly interested in improving society. They wanted to control it. So what exactly were political machines and what purpose did they serve? Political machines were not actual machines. They were organizations of influential people that manipulated voters and government officials. Political machines controlled political parties by working to gain support from local voters to increase their preferred party's success. In order to do this, they offered people needed services like jobs and housing. In exchange for these solutions, people were expected to be loyal to the machine, help solidify their power, and vote for their preferred political candidates. Just like the amusement park goer who is set up to win the games, 19th century city dwellers were finally getting the services they so desperately needed. This all sounds great, doesn't it? Well, behind these improvements, political machines were plagued with corruption. Pause the video here to answer our first guiding question. What were political machines and what purpose did they serve? Let's examine some positive and negative impacts of political machines at the local level. As you watch, be sure to take notes in the chart on the PDF. Let's look at some positives. First, political machines gave city dwellers jobs and housing. Second, they expanded public works projects and improved infrastructure, such as building bridges and improving sewer systems. Third, They supported immigrant populations by giving them homes and jobs in cities where they weren't always welcomed with open arms. And lastly, they even helped immigrants gain citizenship and be able to vote. Political machines truly improved people's lives and made their cities more functional and beautiful. Even though these were positive changes, political machines had some corrupt motives. Let's look at some of their negative impacts. First, they only offered jobs as a strategy to ensure constituents, or eligible voters, remained loyal in elections. Those who were offered jobs or contracts were obligated to repay the political machine by voting for their preferred political candidates and giving the political machine a portion of their income. Second, they damaged the quality of the government. Unqualified people were offered government positions simply because they supported the political machine, not because they could do the job well. Third, and perhaps the biggest negative impact, was the damage to democracy. Political machines committed election fraud by directly offering money in exchange for votes and intimidating voters at the polls to follow through. They would even illegally add extra votes to ballot boxes for their preferred candidate. Political machines took power away from the people, keeping it all for themselves. Lastly, remember those public services we mentioned earlier? Well, leaders of political machines would often lie about the cost of these projects and steal money for themselves. Guess who had to pay for these projects? Taxpayers, of course. So while political machines used their influence to help the community, they also practiced widespread corruption and exploited tax-paying voters. What do you think? Did they do more harm than good? Pause the video and head to your PDF to complete the Political Machines on Trial activity. In our next section, we'll examine a case study to see an example of political machines and the role of the media in revealing their corruption. Oh, look! Mia has arrived in the year 1873 in the bustling heart of New York City, a city of opportunity and, as we will come to see, corruption. The streets are filled with the smoky residue of industry and new Irish immigrants searching for jobs. Look around and you'll see the ornate structures built during this era, the extravagant Tweed courthouse among them. Whispers begin to circulate of justice finally being served. Anticipation sweeps over the city as a newsboy cries out, "Boss Tweed arrested!" The city holds its breath on the brink of a new era. Some are relieved with hope for a future out of the grip of political machines. Others are uncertain what the future will hold without the shadowy comfort of the political machine guiding the city. So, let's examine the downfall of the most famous political machine in American history, Tammany Hall. Tammany Hall endorsed the Democratic Party and dominated politics in New York City under the leadership of William Boss Tweed. They helped Irish immigrants get citizenship, jobs, and housing in exchange for their support of the Democratic Party. They also improved New York through projects that helped to beautify and modernize the city. However, Boss Tweed stole millions of dollars from city taxpayers in the construction of public projects like the Tweed Courthouse. We can thank the media for exposing this corruption. Toward the end of the Gilded Age, journalists called muckrakers began to investigate and bring down political corruption. Thomas Nast, a cartoonist for the magazine Harper's Weekly, used his art as a powerful tactic to expose Boss Tweed's actions. These cartoons resonated with the public, particularly with immigrants and those who couldn't read. They turned public sentiment against Tweed and the rest of Tammany Hall. Tweed himself recognized the impact of these cartoons when he said, "I don't care a straw for your newspaper articles. My constituents don't know how to read, but they can't help seeing them pictures." Nast's cartoons played a significant role in Tweed's eventual arrest and conviction in 1873. Muckrakers and other reformers helped to expose the corruption of the Gilded Age and reform American politics. Oh, Look, Mia is here with some more breaking news. Amusement park managers arrested for stealing money from visitors. Phew, I knew there was something suspicious going on there. Pause the video here and head to the PDF to answer our third guiding question. Then complete the Exposing Boss Tweed activity. In politics, money is important. It helps support things like funding election campaigns. But if we don't keep an eye on how this money is used, it can harm the trust people have in politics and endanger our democracy. Throughout American history, there have been many attempts to eliminate the power of money in politics and put the control of democracy where it is supposed to be, in the hands of all people, not just a select few. We'll see you in the next lesson. In the meantime, keep making history. Hey, hey.